Hey guys, Palsteron here, and with the league right around the corner, I just wanted to make a short-ish video on how you can unlock your Watchstones as fast as possible, efficiently. Now, disclaimer here at the start, if you already know how the Leapfrog method works, it's currently the best method to unlock your Atlas fast, then this video might not have much for you, but if you don't, definitely stick around, and I will do my best to explain it as easy as possible. So I've watched some other content creators who are doing these kinds of videos and got a little bit of inspiration. I want to do things a little differently to make it easier to digest. So as you already know, there's 8 different regions on the Atlas. I wrote it down here and I gave them numbers, but the most important thing you have to take away from this is that they're inner regions and outer regions. So they're separated by this red line I made here. That's the most important because it actually doesn't really matter with which ones in the inner or which ones in the outer circle you start. So giving the numbers is cute and all, but from here on out, I will be more referring to, I guess, inner and outer regions. So the way you start off in the league is basically everything out here is in a fog, and you only see these 4 maps in here. So from here on out, all you have to do to start unlocking your Atlas is get to these outer regions here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you want to unlock these citadels. Now, as soon as you unlock your first citadel, you will encounter Zana, and then you can have Zana in your hideout, which is nice. But the most important part here is that you unlock your first Watchstone. So let's say you just unlocked your first Watchstone. You went through coves, got up here, you unlocked new maps, and now you found the citadel and you killed the Conqueror. Well, the first thing, let's just say you got your first Watchstone now from the Conqueror. What do you do with your first Watchstone? This is really important because that's why I said inner and outer regions. It does not matter where you put this, but you want it in one of the inner regions. So probably here, because when you went up here, you probably, when you went up here to Hayward Hamlet, you probably unlocked the Citadel in Tyrion's End already. All the other Citadels will be unrevealed. Now, if you do not have a Citadel yet, just wait until you get one of these. You will eventually do, but once you have one of the inner regions Citadel unlocked, you put in a Watchstone here. Once again, does not matter where in this inner region. It is simply important because now the tiers of this region are raised. Now, what that means is that all of a sudden you can drop higher tier maps. You can drop yellow maps. The thing is, if you kill a boss and he would drop, for example, you're in a tier 5 map and the boss would drop a tier 6 map, but there is no yellow maps on your Atlas, then that means it will be downgraded to whatever you have, the highest is you have on your Atlas. So that means that if you kill a boss here and it would drop a tier 6, if you don't have this Watchstone in, it will drop a tier 5 and you will never progress. So that's why it's very important to have one of them in. Why it's in the inner regions, I will explain in a bit, but you want one region and only one region with a Watchstone. Now let's say you did the same thing on this side down here and you got your second Watchstone. What I want to do with what I want to tell you is put them on the side here. You don't need the second Watchstone right now. And then you do the third one. Also, you go to the outer edge here and you get another Watchstone. Let's say this one here. Also put them on the side for now. And then you get your fourth Watchstone right here. Also put it on the side here. So by now, the first stage is done. You should have 4 Watchstones, 1 socketed into this inner region. The 3 we're going to use in a sec. So basically you're done with the first stage, but now what you will see is there's a change. If I hover over any region, now it's not going to say number of socketed Watchstones needed 0, but it's going to say 1. So now, whenever you want to unlock your next Watchstone, you will need 1 Watchstone in that region. The first 4, you don't need any Watchstones in there. Those are your first unlocks. But from here on out, you can only unlock if the region you're doing the Conquerors in actually has a Watchstone. Now, after you completed the next 4, it's going to be 2. After that, it's going to be 3. And after that, it's going to be 4, at which point you're going to fight Cyrus. And then you have to, for all the other Watchstones, always have 4 in. But let's worry about that later. So for now, forget that the outer regions exist. Do not engage with the outer regions. We're now going to focus completely on the inner regions and come back to the outer regions once we're completely finished with the inner ones. Now, here's the thing. Now you want a second, now that we're doing yellow maps, or up to like tier 7, right? Yeah, up to tier 7 maps, We want another region that has the possibility of dropping tier 8 or higher. Because once again, if we do not put, for example, 2 Watchstones in here to raise the map tier of this, tier 8 or higher, if we did a tier 7 map here and we would drop a tier 8, it is going to be downgraded. So you want one region with 2 Watchstones now, because this region here we're going to do with 1 Watchstone. And what you want to do here is simply unlock all of the Watchstones in this first region. Like I said, it does not matter. One of the inner regions, I chose Tyrion's End, and you want to do all the Watchstones here. So what that means is you should have killed by now all 4 Conquerors in this region only, which it is really, really important that you don't have a second region that also has a Watchstone in, because otherwise you're going to drop maps from that region. So for example, let's say I had a Watchstone in here, right? Now all of a sudden, I'm trying to complete all the Conquerors in this region, and I'm always dropping maps from this region, which doesn't help me complete that. So you want this to be your only region with 1 Watchstone. It's really, really important. And what you want to do from now here is, now that you've completed 8 Watchstones at this point, so let's put them here. So you now completed 8 Watchstones in total. What you want to do is, now when you hover over, it's going to change. And once again, it's going to say you now need 2 Watchstones socketed into a region to unlock it. And here we are at the 2 Watchstone region that we planned before. Now, if you ran all the 4 Conquerors from this region, you will already have some maps dropped here, which is why it's important to do it beforehand, because now you don't have to buy maps, you don't have to farm them, you already have like a few ready to go, right? So now what we're going to do is the same as with this. We are going to put 3 Watchstones here. And now the same thing applies as before, that you can now drop higher level maps, and while completing all the Conquerors in here, you're already going to drop some maps from here. From there on out, in Valdo's Rest, you will do all the 4 Conquerors. At this point, if you hover over, it should say that you need 3 Watchstones socketed into a region, which we have. And while you're completing this, we're going to do the same again, but this time we're going to go with 4 Watchstones. So we go boom, 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 boom. And you're now basically at endgame, where this has unlocked you tier 16 maps. So after you did this region, you will have 4, 4, 4 for a total of 12, and then 4 from the outer regions for a total of 16 right now. You need 20 for Cyrus. So after you finished the last inner region here, you will be able to face Cyrus. So once again, 16 Watchstones. Every region is now going to need 4 Watchstones socketed into it to actually face a Conqueror that drops your Watchstone. So we have that in here, but now the question is, well, we still need to unlock the outer regions, right? Because after we finish this and we will have 20, we still need to finish the last 12. Like, we only have 1 Watchstone out of each of these regions right at the start, if you remember. So we need 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here for a total of 12. After the 20 for a total of 32. So how do we do that? Well, we still have to unlock the 4 here, but while we do that, the Leapfrog method has not ended, because you can still leapfrog to the outer things here. And the way you're going to do that now is you're going to socket 4 Watchstones into one of the outer regions. I will just pick Lexijoris, once again, does not matter. And now, while you do this region, you will not only drop, like, this is, if you didn't have this, this would be the only region with 4 Watchstones. So it would be the only region that drops T14s, T15s, and T16s. So you only drop maps from this region. As soon as you put 4 Watchstones here, you're also going to drop Tier 15, Tier 14, and Tier 16 maps of this region. So what you should be careful about is that you time this right. Because you don't want to start buying maps. You want to actually have enough maps to complete Lex Proxima first. So something that I do usually is I will wait until I have a good map pool. For example, I complete like 2 Watchstones in this region or 3 Watchstones in this region. And when I'm like comfortable and I feel like I have enough maps of that region to complete the rest, I will start putting in the Watchstone in the outer region. Because once again, while we are completing, while we are completing this region, we already want to drop some maps of this region, Lexijoris, to not have to buy these, because otherwise we just have to buy them. We couldn't drop them while we did this, so now we're kind of lost, right? So you want to do this at a point where you feel comfortable and where you know that you can actually complete Lex Proxima. So now you should be at the point where you face Cyrus and you have 20 Watchstones. Doesn't matter if you complete Cyrus, you can do it either way. You can even skip him if you want, honestly, if your build is too weak. But important here is that you remove the Watchstones from this region here, from Lex Proxima at this point, because you're done with this region. You do not want to drop any maps anymore. That comes later when you actually decide what you want to farm. But right now, the focus is now on the outer regions. You don't want these in here to interfere because you already have all the 4 Watchstones from Lex Proxima. So what you do from here on out is you jump from outer region to outer region. Once again, we are finished with all the inner regions for a total of 16 Watchstones. And then we have 1, 1, 1, 1 each on the outer regions at the very start, for a total of 20 Watchstones. But now we have to finish the outer regions, which still has 3 Watchstones to go for each of the regions. So to illustrate where you should be after the 20 Watchstones is, all of these inner regions can be completely ignored. You have done all the Watchstones in the inner regions. These do not exist for what you want to do anymore. And for the outer regions, you have done 1/4 of the work each, because you have 1 out of 4 Watchstones here that you completed right at the get-go. So what we have to do is finish all the outer regions. So this time we're going in increments of 3. Once you have completed all your 3 Watchstones in Lexajoris and dropped also some maps from Lyra Arthane, you will have 23 Watchstones. And we continue with Lyra Arthane down here. Once again, already put your Watchstones in there once you're comfortable, once you have a few maps of Lyra Arthane and you think you're going to make it without diluting your pool too much with this region, go ahead and socket these in. After you finish those 3 Watchstones and you're at 26 now, this region basically doesn't exist anymore. So now we're at a point where only these 2 outer regions are left. So now we're in New Vastir and we do the same again. Once you're comfortable with your map pool, go ahead and socket 4 here, so you start dropping maps from Haywark Hamlet. After you finish this region, you're going to have 29 Watchstones. And once again, never forget, once you're done with a region, to socket out all the Watchstones, or you will drop maps from a region that you do not need anymore. So voila, you did it. You have 32 Watchstones. We can kind of do this here and remove the last one from the bucket list. And we are at 32 out of 32. So while I tried my best to explain this, obviously this is not gonna, if you didn't know about this method, this is not gonna immediately go in. What I tell you is do it the same way I did it here with a paint file or whatever program you use. And I'll put this down in the description. Obviously it's just a screenshot, but whatever. Make a screenshot of the atlas, how it looks like, and then go for 1 by 1. And as soon as you finish the region, really go ahead and kind of exit out so you understand that this region does not exist for you anymore. It will help you visualize all this. I definitely had my problems as well when I first did this, when the atlas came out, and the second time it got a little bit easier, and it gets easier and easier with time, and now it's just like second nature. So if this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe. You can also follow me on twitch.tv/Palsteron. You can tip or support me at patreon.com/Palsteron. But yeah, I hope this kind of helped out some people. I know this is a method that has been used for a long time. I just wanted to give my spin on it. I think that once you're used to this, it gets really, really easy. And I know from experience that having to go through the atlas the old way without actually understanding this method is really tedious and can cause burnout very early. And I don't want that to happen to you. So yeah, but other than that, since I still don't have a slogan, see you next time.